I've been spending time in the dojo, doing all the things that they won't show. No spotlights on me, no photos, becoming the king on the low level.
All right, guys, you're here with another episode of the Dad Dojo podcast. Bobby Lashley over here on my right, Rich Chou over here on my left, and we have decided to talk about a topic that is very important today to Bobby. So let's go ahead and let's talk about it. I guess this is something that at a young age, we've got younger kids, you've got older kids. Where do you dive into it and what age are you talking about?
Yeah, so of course, like I said, I talk to my kids all the time about our podcast, and they're really into it also. So my son asked me, he said, what are you guys going to talk about today? And I was like, you know what? What's cool about our podcast is that we don't have a script. We just kind of like, what should we talk about today, guys? And we can just run with it. Yeah. So I was like, I don't know. And I was like, you know what? I think that I'd like to talk about is like financial literacy because, everybody knows that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I was trying to explain that to my son. I was like, you know what? I said, when I was growing up, my dad didn't teach me nothing about money. I didn't know anything about money.
This is a book you're talking about? Rich
Yeah.
Dad, Poor Dad?
Yeah.
I haven't read it.
Oh, yeah. It's a fantastic
Robert
book.
Kiyosaki.
Right,
I
yeah.
believe.
Yeah. He talks all about
I was forced to
finance
read
and
it.
everything.
Who made you read it?
My uncle.
My uncle?
Yeah, he bought me a copy and goes, "You have to read this." This was a long time ago. Like it's an older book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good though. Good read.
Bobby, what do you think?
I think
Very practical information.
It is, but it explains something in a different way because, of course, it was just basically this kid. He talks about, his real dad was the one that didn't have money, so his dad could teach him certain things and how to live life, and then he had a stepdad, and his stepdad was wealthier, so he actually explained financial literacy to him, and it just talks about the dynamics between if you have a father that doesn't or if you come from the household that doesn't versus if you do. Mm-hmm. And it works for me, and I think for you also. When I was younger, I knew nothing about money. Yeah, I was used to hide money under my mattress, and I was like, man, I got to hold on to this because I came from a poor family, Mm-hmm. So different things were important to me. And as I kind of made that shift from getting a little bit of money, things started changing across the board of things I buy that have more value and why I buy it, as opposed to when I was younger, it was things that I can afford. And then just going through it with my son, what I try to teach him now, because this topic is just going to be a huge topic. Because like now, when I was growing up, I was thinking about going into the military, and I was like, man, the harder you work, that's going to get you there. So you can always tell a person's wealth by how grizzled they are as a man. It was like, man, this dude looks broken down. He worked his butt off for his family. But I think now if you work smarter, and I think the way the society has kind of changed now, and being from a more wealthy mindset and having people around me that are mentors that can explain it a little bit better, I know that it's better to work smarter. And if you work smarter, you have the ability to make so much more money. So that's what I try to teach my son. And I try to teach my kids I try to teach them like, what can make you the money? Don't always work so hard, work smarter.
Cheat code.
That's
Bobby's thing.
Yes, the cheat code. Yeah. Especially now, like, cause we talked about social media. And before I was like, man, don't. Oh, quick story on this. I'm jumping around a little bit. I was having my theater set up in my house. Like, girl was in there. Yeah. It was awesome. And they were getting it all set up, and she was hooking up the PS5 up to it and everything like that. And I was like, man, I don't want my son playing video games all the time. But the girl that was setting it up, she was like, there's a lot of benefits to playing video games. And she starts like rattling them off as far as like hand-eye coordination, as far as like training the brain how to solve problems and tasks and all these different things. And I was like, all right, okay, you're giving justification for playing video games. But at the same time, these kids are making a tremendous amount of money playing video games.
Yeah.
So it's hard. I'm just going to throw the ball at you guys right now and let you guys start talking about it. But it's hard to not want our kids to do certain things that, man, it's easy money, and you're leaving money on the table by not doing it. Like for my son's 15 years old right now. A lot of the kids that are YouTube stars right now, they all say the same thing. I started out when I was 15 years old and 16 years old, just making videos. And then I started learning it, and they're 19 years old with millions that are making millions. So if I can give my son all the resources to do that, why wouldn't I tell him to do that? And I told him, I said, bro, I don't want you to stop working out, like, because you love football and you work your butt off for football. You like track and you love wrestling and then school. I don't want you to not or neglect any of those. But at the same time, why not make the free money by like starting a little channel?
Well, let me touch on the video game portion first, because that won't last long. Is that there's some games that are not addicting. So like I think about like FIFA and things like that, right? But it's also another way to educate your child on positioning in the game, so they can see the field in its entirety, and they can also control the players to run there. So we don't do video games in my house either, but I'm on the fence right now about like FIFA and lacrosse and hockey, because it all kind of comes together on how there's a goal. You can go behind the net, you cannot go behind the net, whatever it is. It's teaching the kids how to play. Those are also games that like where if you play Modern Warfare, you play Halo, they're addicting because you want to get to the next level. When you're playing games like FIFA, it's not as fun to play against a computer because the computer's going to normally whip your ass, right? And so if you play against your dad, then that's a little bit different. Where, hey, you're whooping dad's ass, it's more fun. So that's kind of my take on the video game thing, is games that are not addicting. You know, this Roblox thing, we allow Roblox once, you know, on the weekend for an hour and a half, you know, depending on how it's spread out through over the weekend. But the other games, I'm on the fence right now because my son's 9, and I know that if I just walk out of the room, he'll play Roblox for 3, 4, 5 hours easily, and I've got to take the iPad with me, you know. So that's the video game aspect of it, I think, for me. I mean, like what I know you guys don't do video games either, really.
No. Well, we started to introduce it. We're focusing on certain games. Like my son yesterday was begging me to get Minecraft. And the more I learn about Minecraft, I'm okay with it. I'm kind of trying to avoid the violent shooter games and different things like that, and just focus. Like Minecraft kind of actually takes some creativity. It's not just like go and just kill all these bad guys and move on. It's really like you can build different things. And so as I'm learning, I'm like, you know, that actually can be helpful. I talked to somebody yesterday, coincidentally, who his son is like a professional competitive gamer at 15 years old. And he was struggling with it. And we started talking about it. At first he was like, man, I wish he would train or do something more, you know, in sports and athletics. And then he started to look at it differently. Like, well, I mean, he's putting in, you know, he's learning hard work. He's being positive around, you know, it's not like they're all just, you know, just talking smack and, you know, there's a lot of positivity in this community, right? And he's excelling and he's making money. So he started looking at all the positives, and he's like, you know what? I just need to let go and just embrace it. You know, he's not doing what I want him to do, but he's finding his own path, and there's all these positive things about it. And I just got to embrace it and support it. And that was really good food for thought for me. And I think, because that just not only applies to video games, but just everything in life. They're not always going to do what we want them to do and go down the path we want them to go down. But back to video games, it's crazy. And just being you know, back in the day, how did we make money? How did kids make money? You know, you cleaned up, you washed the car, you raked the leaves. Lawns, and now it's, you can go be a YouTube star, you can be a professional gamer. So, you know, that's the cheat code, right? Is to work smarter and make more money and build a following in a community. It's actually really cool. But as we've also said, I think it's really powerful. So you gotta, as all things that are very powerful, you have to really control that, right?
What do you feel like?
I'm so hard with it because I'm on you guys' side completely.
About the video games or about the making money?
About the video games.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's like we're being like our parents, and parents are all back. You guys shouldn't be doing that because we don't understand it. Like you said, being obsessed with it and spending too much time. How much time did you spend when you were fighting? How many hours a day did you spend fighting, watching tape, rehabbing for fighting, How long of that day was your mind is focused on fighting, which made you very successful and made a lot of money for you?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with this stuff. Every one of those things you have to put in time, but if you put in the time, you will reap the benefits and reap the rewards. My son has a class, esports. It's a class. It's video games. And I'm like, I cannot believe this. But there's so much money in this that for them not to just, like, me personally, I'm like, bro, like, you have so many opportunities to do so many different things. I'm like, don't waste your time on video games. But then these video games are, man, they're so dynamic. The level of video games. I remember Tecmo Super Bowl and Mike Tyson Punch Out.
Super Tecmo.
That's what I was thinking about. But these games right now are on a whole different level. It's like science. It's like you got to be masterful at these games. Mm-hmm. And these guys are making so much money. And I hate using money and saying money so many times. But at the end of the day, we all know that money pays bills. So if you can do some of these things that that can make you some money and then but you have to practice on it. You have to put in the time.
Well, there's another approach to this. Okay, let's get into the YouTube side of that all. Is that, look, they don't have to compete and basically make money off of it. What they can do is what do they call it? Screenshot or
Twitch.
Screen record themselves playing and basically put that up on Twitch or put it up on YouTube, and then they can actually get more viewers that way. And then that's more of my approach, like for my son, is that he has a YouTube channel. Ollie has a YouTube channel as well. Just start to build on that. If they start doing, say, 2-3 videos a week, if you can get them, and it doesn't have to be anything spectacular. Some of these things are literally like them holding the phone, showing themselves, this is the drill I'm doing, setting up the camera like by away, getting a wide shot. And then you can piece it together inside Instagram because it has a super easy way to edit the video. And then you just take that video out, put it onto your YouTube channel, and boom. And then you start to monetize. Think about this. You can monetize and get about, say, $1,000 a month for monetization, right?
Right.
If you can get $1,000 a month for monetization until they turn 18, I mean, I'm on the low end. Obviously, I'm thinking low end, but I mean, our kids are 9 years old. Our son is. So it's like,
okay,
that's another way to make money that he doesn't even realize he's making money.
Okay, now listen to what you said. Like, if I can make $1,000 a month, I can make $2,000.
No, you can. But let's start off low. Okay,
sure, but it's never going to stop.
You're right. It won't, as long as he's enjoying what he's doing. So if he wants to screen record himself playing video games, why don't we allocate a certain amount of time for that? Let's say, hey, let's go an hour of video games. Let's do an hour of monetize and then doing videos of you doing track. What do you do for your warm up? I'm sorry, but I've seen videos with 3-4 million views for warm ups for sprinters. That's it. All you do is just show a quick 5-second clip of them doing one warm up this way, one warm up this way, and it looks like back and forth. And then the great thing about you is you have 2 kids that are track athletes that are phenomenal. And now if you have them doing it together, then it lets a boy and a girl, it's a younger boys and younger girls at home go, wow, they're training together. My brother and sister, I can train with my sister. I can train with my brother. We can do something like this. That's going to get you more views as well.
Okay.
And then you throw dad in the mix, Mr. Popular over here, and then you add that little extra push. Yeah. you know what I mean? Like now it just brings even more eyeballs.
Okay.
They'll be monetizing in no time in terms of higher levels than $1,000 a month, by the way.
Okay.
But I'm just simply saying, have him start off, see how serious he is about monetization. He's also a cooker. He can cook. Am I correct?
Yes.
You showed us videos about how good his food looked, and it did look good.
Yes.
The way he edits and cuts that should be super easy for him to edit and cut a warm-up video, a sprint, a finish cool-down video. Do that with his sister. Okay. And now you've got yourself a YouTube star, YouTube person.
Okay. And then what does he do after that? Once he starts monetizing it, when he's making 1,000, and then he's like, okay, we're making 1,000 because we did this. And he was like, let's make a little tweak here. And then now he's making 3,000. It's like, oh dang, now he's making 3,000.
Well, now remember what's that app you sent us it shows all of his investments?
Green light.
Yeah. So you take the green light app. Let's invest a little bit here. Let's invest a little bit here. I think you know the answers.
No. We're going right into the topic that I'm talking about, because so now he's making 3 to 5. And then at this point, we're like, man, this kid's 15 years old and this kid's making $40,000 a year. What if we fix this, and now we get a little bit of production company. Look, there was a guy that I met after one of the shows. We were in Fort Worth. My son like lost it when he saw this kid, and the kid was a big fan. He was like, "Oh man, we just went to the show, man. Can I have a picture with you?" No, he just made videos, like YouTube videos. I took a picture with him, and my son's like, "Dad, that's so and so," and I was like, "I don't even know who you're talking about. He's got millions of people on YouTube." And I get to talking with his dad because they were right next to us, and we were just talking about wrestling. His dad was a developer, and his dad was like, "You know what? He's a major developer in the DFW area." And he's like, "Look, man, I had to switch my business around to almost supporting my son. He's making millions off of his YouTube." So now when we say, okay, you have your son and he's making $1,000 a month, and then it goes to 10,000, and then it goes to 20,000. You're like, man, this kid's making a lot of money. Then are you going to tell him, no, son, don't put time on this. Let's focus on lacrosse, or let's focus on something else, when he's already like, but Dad, I'm making a couple 100,000 now on this YouTube. Why not shift everything over to this and saying, it's a business now. Let's brand it. Let's put the time in, and let's really be able to open this thing up, because that's where our society has shifted.
Why can't you do two? Why can't you do them simultaneously? Why can't you just, why?
Because why weren't you fighting and playing soccer at the same time?
I was every Monday, Tuesday night.
How'd you do in soccer?
I was always good at soccer.
I know, but what accolades did you get in soccer? It was recreation.
No, but I played
pretty
pretty high level in high school.
Yeah, you were that.
I was kind of a big deal in high school. It's kind of a big deal.
But what I'm saying is, anything that you want to do great, you have to focus your time and effort there. You can't just be full-time here and full-time here and full-time here. You've got to be able to like say, if I want to be good at this, I've got to, like, because we talked about this before. We play a whole bunch of sports, but as we get closer to that high school level and into college, you're not going to college playing 3 sports. Unless you're a phenom, you may play 2, but outside of that, they're like, well, you have to pick one because we need your time and effort here. So it's the same thing here. If your son, and I'm not saying that I want to push my son into this. I'm just saying we as dads, we need to look at this and say, this is different from our society.
That's
the
a
way
bad
we
analogy,
grew up.
though.
No, it's not.
Because in the work business, I can hire someone to help me with my marketing. I can hire somebody to help me with my apparel. I don't need to do it myself. And if I'm making millions, I can bring somebody on. All I got to do is do the approval. You can't hire someone to play baseball for you or run track for you. So he needs to stick with what's worked for him. I say this about Rich, will touch on this as well. I'm sorry, but if you're a world-class wrestler and you got to MMA and now you're fighting for the title, all of a sudden you want to be a stand-up guy, don't forget what brought you to the dance. It was your wrestling.
Sure.
So getting away from what brought him and built all of his followers to change it and now start making it a business is a big no-no. That's why you've got all those millions of followers. So stay in your lane. But look, I'm not saying you don't venture out a little bit, but you don't change your business model after you've been proven it's been successful. You just add to it and grow it and make it bigger. Stick with me, buddy. I'll show you the way.
Hey,
am I right or am I wrong?
I'm sorry, but I think you're wrong. What's the kid's name? Oh man, I wish I could call my son and ask him. We watch these videos where they go around to different cities and they bring a receiver and then they bring a back, like a
running back,
not a receiver, and then somebody to cover the receiver. And they go to different cities and then they try to you try to juke him, and then whoever wins money. It's this kid that was he was like an amazing football player. But he was a kicker. Mm-hmm. He was incredible. And he started going into, because he couldn't get an NIL deal at the time. He couldn't take money. So he started a YouTube channel and he stopped playing football. And he started doing these YouTube videos. So he got famous off of these YouTube videos. And I think he just got back into the UFL, the Rock's new league, as a kicker. So he was a really, really good kicker. And he could have went to the NFL for kicking, but instead he went here to these videos and started doing these videos, and the videos blew up. So what got him to the dance was the football, but what made him the money was these videos. So would it make sense for him?
What were his videos about though?
It was about, he was just going from city to city, and he was basically offering $10,000 a word to find the best receivers.
But it's for football. He's staying in his lane. That's what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, you made it sound like you change it and do this and change it and do that. No,
he quit football.
But what was his videos about? Football.
Rich, I'm right? You're listening to this.
I'm listening. I'm processing everything. Like I'm just,
Oh.
I'm extracting all the positive things from it because I'm trying to put it in perspective with
Rich
kids.
is like Denmark. He just sits in the middle, bro. He
I'm
doesn't
just
choose
like-
a side.
No, but really, like I'm just focused on the positives. To me, this is a greater. If you can get this thing rolling, if your kids are having fun, passionate, and enjoying whatever it is, and you can get this thing rolling and turn it into a business, to me, that's a greater education. And this is like, I'm sure there'll people out there that'll disagree, but this to me is a better education, this process than what sometimes you're getting at school.
Yes.
Like you can take these skills like to, I've always joked like, man, sometimes I feel like the kids are better off at a young age opening up a lemonade stand and learning more about life and business than everything
Absolutely.
they're learning at school. This is obviously that to the next level.
Yeah.
So as I'm listening to you guys, I'm just thinking about the positives, like whether it is a YouTube channel, whether you are a gamer, whatever it is at that young age, just earning money. I'm sure, as we all know, as you earn money, you gotta, that you're probably setting up some type of business. How's the business structured? You got to pay taxes. We have expenses. Like imagine learning that as a child, as a teenager. Like that is just, you don't learn that. There's still adults that don't even know any of this, So I'm just looking at the positives. I think both you guys I don't think anyone's wrong. I'm just seeing, man, if a kid could figure out how to do this the right way and was guided properly, whether it's a parent or whatever type of mentor, it's a beautiful thing.
Let me pull this up real quick. So there's an app that they have now. It's called YouTube Studio. Basically, like it shows you what your revenue is. Shows you what your.
Is there any other way? Is
unique
YouTube the
views.
only platform?
I no. There's Twitch. There's Rumble. There's
TikTok.
there's different ways. It depends on
What's the best one for a kid?
for a kid would be probably Kids YouTube or YouTube for Kids or Kids YouTube or just YouTube in general.
Just for those out there that don't know, I mean,
You have.
Yeah.
I guess TikTok is getting banned or something in the U.S.
We'll find out.
yeah.
We'll find out.
But can you
TikTok-
monetize TikTok?
Yes.
Oh yes.
Yes, right?
Yes.
And TikTok is
Yeah.
almost the best right now because I'm looking at from what my kids look at and what all their friends look at. Snap is also doing like this Snap Shorts because kids are really big on that.
And you can monetize on
Yes,
Snap.
yeah.
Okay.
Everything is they say it's that TikTok brain. Our kids are getting TikTok brain, which their attention span is very, very short.
Right.
So they're going away from the normal 8-minute and 10-minute YouTube videos because that just takes too long. They want to know quick. They want to catch them. They want to get the knowledge out. They want to get entertainment out, and then they want to go on.
Well, they always want the swipe up, just real fast, or swipe
I gotta
right,
see
whatever it
something
is,
else. I
just
gotta see
faster,
something else.
faster.
Yeah. So my daughter's in college right now. She's majoring in digital marketing. So that's going to school to learn something, but my son essentially can do it right now and be monetizing it and making a lot of money off of it right now if he wanted to really just dive into it and then figure it out and start doing it. What's the kid that does fight tips? We did that Dave and Buster's commercial with.
Shane
Shane
Faison.
Faison.
Shane
Yeah.
Faison.
Yeah, he says the story also. He's like, I started doing videos when I was 15, 16 years old, and he's never done.
He's from
anything else.
Minnesota.
Yeah,
He's this little small town in Minnesota. That's his wife is his like high school sweetheart or middle school sweetheart or something like that. She actually is the one that does all the editing of the videos. She's got the computer design or whatever it is, graphics design degree. So she's the one that actually does all the editing. He does all the content.
Yeah.
And they were living in Redondo Beach for a while. And, in this house, and I went out there and did a podcast with him in his facility, showed a couple techniques. Really great guy. Him and his wife are
Shane's the man.
absolutely amazing people. I love them. And then they actually moved, I think, back towards the East Coast.
I think they're in Jersey, Philly, that kind of.
I think in the Philly
Yeah,
area.
yeah.
I think in the Philadelphia area. But man, they bought a beautiful house, built out his whole garage. Now he's got a full studio inside his garage.
Yeah.
I mean, he understands what his focus is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's back when he was in Redondo, he only had about 2 million subscribers. Only, I say. But I mean, he was pulling really good numbers.
Yeah.
And now he's at 4 or 5 million and just keeps building and building and building. He's killing it, man. Crushing it.
Shout out to Shane.
Yeah. But that's a big he understands what his focus is, him and his wife, they understand what their focus is. Like your kids and you just did a video the other day on Sunday Flow Day.
Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
Ollie
Just
and,
having
and Kenny
fun.
and
Yeah,
the family's out in the
awesome.
garage, getting the work in.
Yep.
Videoing him hitting the mitts, Ollie hitting the mitts, him kicking pads, him doing some sprawls, him shooting a double leg, all those things in a short little quick, like he's saying, short that you put on YouTube. It'll get you, anywhere between, so let's just say 1,500 to 2,000 views, and you do 2 or 3 of those a week, you can start monetizing it within, probably I'd say 6 months. Just staying consistent. You do 2-3 videos a week. It ends up starting to make you a little bit of money. And look, for little kids, really, like, we just feel like it's something, at least I feel like it's just, I just bought my son cleats yesterday. They were almost $200, $160. $160. I'm like, he's a size 5.5 now. Like, I mean, he's only 9 years old. He's got a big ass feet.
What brand?
These are they're nice. They're Adidas.
You get them the best.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
man.
right.
Like,
No, I'm just
I'm
curious.
sorry,
Like, who's charging
Hey,
that
I
much?
don't mind at all. Yeah, because he needs
Dick's.
them.
That was
Makes
the
him run
Dick's.
faster.
Yeah.
And he looks good in them.
Yeah, he does look good.
Yeah.
He does. I wanted these other ones, but because they look really good. But then he's like, it feels like my heels. They had a shallow heel.
Yeah.
He's like, I feel like my heel's gonna come out every time I run. I'm like, all right, so we had to go with something
Yeah,
else.
no. Now that I think about it, yeah, because there's still, like, when I shop for just regular shoes, yeah, they're still charging 120, 150
It's
bucks.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, like, this is what I do: is I run and get him a pair of Vans for like every day, kind of just play
sure.
and run because they're $35,
Right,
$40.
right.
I'll do the Vans for school or whatever it is, and then all the other stuff. I'm just like, hey, he's got his running shoes. he's got
Okay,
his-
back to the
Gotcha.
$160 cleats.
Yeah,
Go
but
on.
anyways, no, but like you did the flow day, doing
Yeah.
something like that, creating content of him cooking, of him, building his audience now, and see what videos are hitting first.
Sure.
If he's doing the sprinting warm ups, if he's doing sprinting exercises, doing that, or what other sports play? Football.
My son?
Yeah,
Football, wrestling, and track.
football, wrestling, and track. So I mean, what are the ones that he enjoys the most?
Football.
Football?
Football's all the way.
I mean, yeah,
but he's good at track, and track's just, there's not too much to it. It's just run to him, but he loves to run.
There is though, but we're skipping over all the small stuff. The small details is what people really. Oh wow, why is he doing that for a warm up? Why is he doing that for a cool down? Why is he doing that stretch? Like,
Who's the
what
top-
makes him fat? What makes him fast?
Who's the top sprinter right now?
in the world?
Yes. Who's the best quarterback Who's the best quarterback right now?
Oh, Mahomes. It's
Yeah,
not even-
I mean,
yeah. Come on.
who do you?
Did you not see Mahomes' video of him with the dad bod?
I'm with you.
doing the
with
workout?
you.
Yeah, I was proud. I was like,
with you.
yeah.
I'm with you on that. But what I'm saying is, look what we did. I asked who the best sprinter. I couldn't even think of a name.
Well,
For
because
football,
Usain Bolt's
it's-
out now. He's
Yeah, yeah.
retired. You've
But there's
got
so many other people that are going right now.
Johan Blake. He's also, I think, retired. He's still lingering around. Maybe
We didn't go back and say Peyton Manning or Joe Montana.
Sha'Carri
or
Richardson
anything like
right now
that.
is, I think, is
Yeah,
there?
she's from Texas.
She's from Texas.
See,
Yeah.
see, that's why. I mean, football.
I'm sorry, but
so
she
there's a lot to track, but it's not going to garnish the views that you want. As far as for him, he loves it, but he loves football because there's so much more.
I'm sorry, but Sha'Carri Richardson, Johan, I watch the sprinting videos all the time. It's got millions of views. Millions.
So, Josh, what you're saying is Miles has all this talent and all these different things he can take it. You're just saying focus on the largest audience, or
no. I'm saying right now, as he's still young, let's go ahead and let's do a little bit of everything. Why doesn't he just do a cooking? Talking about let's do cooking right now. And this is what I eat before I do this. This is what I eat before I do this. So the two of them now you're mixing, and then this is what my workout was after I ate this meal. This is what I eat after my workout.
Yes.
I mean, there's 2 videos right.
Well,
There's 3 videos right there.
See, this is what we're doing, and we're doing all that. But what I'm saying is that it turns into a job. It's going to turn, because like right now he cooks videos. He has a lot of videos on there. The first step was for me to start like putting him on mine, because I have all the followers and everything like that, and I give him a plug. He starts getting guys over there. So at that point, he keeps putting them out, and he's like, "All right, what should we go into right now?" I said, "Miles, why don't you try to do something different? Like do a vegan video this time. Put it out there, see what kind of views you get. And then if you say like that, this is what I eat before working out." and he puts a video like that. What if that gets more views? Then he's going to focus more on that, because it turns into a job. It's not just, hey, let's just put a video out. Let's just put a video out, and it doesn't matter because we're going to put out whatever we want.
Who's creating the videos? Because
he does it all by himself,
just on his phone.
Yes.
Because what I'm trying to, I'm trying to ask perhaps the questions that people out there that are watching this are like, look, I don't have 1 million followers. I'm not a WWE superstar. I don't have a platform. I'm just a normal parent, but I have a curious, fun, creative kid, and I want to get started. So you can just shoot videos on your phone,
yes,
upload them to YouTube,
Yep.
right, or any of these other
Absolutely.
platforms. It's really quite easy to get started. Being successful, of course, is a whole nother thing. It's going to take a lot of work, but just to get started is super easy, right?
Well, yeah, because everybody has an old iPhone laying around the house. Like
Yeah.
the video quality is probably not going to be as good as your new, iPhone 15 or whatever it is. But like you need to have, it's like, if you have an old iPhone laying around the house, grab the iPhone, and give it to them. Let them be creative, and then you can make the edits and cuts. It could be one big long video, and you can just cut it where you want it, and then save the videos and then mesh it all together. Into the Instagram, whatever it is, or other ways, other platforms if you have it.
Yeah, but
There's ways to do it.
but at the same time, what you were asking is, you can just keep making the videos because that's what you like, because you just want to make videos, and it can have like 10 views, 10 views, 10 views, 10 views. Because I had a friend of mine, her son was doing like little cartoon videos, just random cartoon videos, and she was like, "Oh my God, this one had like 30,000 views on it." Okay. So what do you have to do? You have to figure out the algorithm. So you go over there and you're like, what do we do different over here? We put names or hashtags and all these different things. And then you put another video out to see if this doesn't get this views, you have to figure it out.
And
so
what
it is
platform?
YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
You're talking about YouTube.
So
Okay.
it's a figuring out process. So with
And
all
YouTube
those,
changes their algorithm basically once every couple months.
right, but
So-
still, there's certain things that you can do that gets better views. Like what is it? The first couple seconds when you're scrolling through videos, when you just go on it, it'll play like a little blurb of the video. See, that is very important, because that little blurb that comes in, a little 8 or couple second of what happens in that video, that's very important, because if you go to there and you see a little bit of this, and you're like, oh, I want to see that, click on that. That's very important too. Like there's so many different facets to a video, and being able to plug it and make it and monetize it, that you have to figure out what works and what's bringing people in, what's getting you the views. So it's not just, hey, let's just put out a video and put out a video and put out a video, because then now you're just spinning your wheels of like, oh, I don't know what works. Like those people that are getting there, they know how to cut angles, say this, pop this, turn this, all those different things like that. It's a whole science behind it. So it's not just, hey, let's just put it out. Because like right now with my son doing his cooking videos, I'm like, he knows how to do it because he's watched so many of these doggone TikTok videos. He can make them, and he's good at doing it. But once we start setting him followers, then we're going to start watching, okay, what do we do different here? What makes this video better than this one? And then we had to figure it out. And then he keeps improving. And then once you improve, once it gets to a certain level where you're maxed out of your improvement, then it's like, what can we do that takes it to that next level? And it's a whole entire business.
I think, but I agree with you that it is a whole entire business. I do agree, but I think right now is all it is content is key.
Yeah.
And the more content you put out, it doesn't all have to be perfect. And that's, I think, where a lot of younger talent and people that they succeed is that they don't care. They want to get their content out as fast and as much as they possibly can. There was literally a video that my son did, and I was like, it was of him with like a battery and something else, and it made like a little spark between the two. And I was like, where'd you see that? He's like, oh, I saw it on YouTube. And that's all the video showed. It had 6 million views.
Yeah.
So if you monetize that, 6 million views, and it was just showing the kid put the battery to this other thing and seeing the electricity go between the two. And that was it. It had 6 million views.
Yeah.
And he's like, I wanted to try it.
There's something.
No, but I'm saying though, is that it's like the kids are on YouTube just doing this, and that's going to get them views, and that content goes to them.
Right.
So
but something stops them.
Something stops what?
When they're.
Yeah, it's usually parents.
No. I'm not saying stop them from coming off it. Stop them to stop on a video. There's an entire.
But that video was only literally like maybe 10 seconds.
I know, but there was something There really was. It's crazy, but there's some kind of something that catches people on videos and they blow up the views. It's either the person, or after the person has a name, it's their name is attached to it, and they'll blow it up. It could be a hashtag. It could be some kind of blurb that they didn't even know said it onto something. It's something. Those guys that are in those videos that are blowing up are studying this thing down to a science, and they're like, we have to do it, we have to do this, and then it goes, because we were getting into it because with my business and everything, and trying to monetize my followers, we said, let's do a YouTube video. And I started doing some before, and it was like certain things, just like my views would be up here, and then certain things it would be way far down here. We were like, what was the difference? And there's certain things that I do in different videos that will get so many more. It's like when you post it also. What time,
it is.
It's so many different
But
things.
that YouTube studio, that will show you these are the peak times that people view your content.
Yes.
And so that's when you want to view it. So
there's
like
all the analytics.
Yeah, so all the analytics that are there. Yeah. I can go into my YouTube channel and see, like for us, 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. is a dead time kind of, but right around 7 a.m. starts picking up.
Yeah.
And then it starts getting a little bit busier around 9 and 10 a.m. because you got to start thinking we're in Central Time. So West Coast doesn't wake up. So you can see where most of your viewers are. 80% of our viewers are in the LA, like Orange County area. So those people don't wake up until, 2 hours, after us. So we got to start plugging and playing your videos around that time. So we play it either at 8 or 9 a.m. for our videos for weighing in. And then we notice a bigger uptick in views. So the other thing too is who's your competition? Who do you, and see when they drop their videos and either go right before them or right after them while people are on.
Yeah.
So there's different ways to view the analytics on what works best, you think, for your channel.
And then the trends also. There's certain trends that are out. Because like, and some of the top guys start the trends. If they're doing something and it gets like a bunch of views, the hashtags that they're using for it, what do they call that? It's like you're copying their hashtag or something. There was something about one of the big YouTube stars. It wasn't Mr. Beast, but it was one of them that did something where he was pitching and he was trying to hit from a pitcher, and it just blew up. And at that time it blew up, and the hashtags that he put, like a lot of people were copying his hashtags and doing something with baseball. So theirs can go also. There's a huge science behind it.
Well, there is a science behind it, but then just so you're aware, as you hit 100,000 subscribers, you get a little bit more access to actually someone to help you from YouTube. Then you hit 500,000, you have someone you can jump on a call with once a month. You hit 1 million, now they're at your fingertips anytime you want. Hey, what is working for everybody in the YouTube atmosphere? What is working for them? So I need to know, so then I can start building on that. If something's coming up, YouTube will tell you, hey, the Masters is coming up. Maybe do something where there's a golf type thing. Yeah. Okay. The World Series is coming up. Let's go ahead and focus on baseball now this time. The Super Bowl is coming up. Let's focus on things that in the NFL, or focus on football related stuff. So that's another wing, because people are looking up whatever it is going on with the NFL, whatever it is going on with the Super Bowl, whatever it is with the World Series, baseball, tricks, whatever. They're going to start looking that up as you get into the playoffs, basketball. So those are things that will help grow it. So if you're in the sports category, you want to follow the trend of whatever the sport is during that time, because people are hashtagging that sport time. The thing with MMA, like for weighing in, it's year round. We don't have a season. So we're constantly basically just working around the pay-per-view model. So the more pay-per-views, the better for us. So that works, because that's where you get the most views. I mean, we'll do 150 to 200,000 views for a pay-per-view. Whereas, the non-pay-per-views, you'll do anywhere between, say, 30 to 70,000 views. So it does make a difference on the level of what it is you're talking about. Is it Super Bowl time? Is it not Super Bowl time? I'm sorry, but no one gives a crap about spring training camp. And I mean, they do a little bit, but when you get into the opening day, after the opening day, those next 100 games, everyone's like, okay, baseball, but then you get towards the playoffs, and then they're kind of running into the playoffs. Who's going to make the playoffs, the play in, play outs? I mean, there's viewership just starts jumping up.
So with everything that we were talking about before, we're so sport heavy because we like sports and we came up with sports. But why not? Not why not? For some kids that aren't so great at sports, that's like another avenue to sit down and teach your kids this. It's still a learning curve and still a learning process, because some kids may not be, let's push them into sports. It may be, hey, this is another business. We don't look at this as let's just stare at YouTube. Let's look at this as digital marketing. Let's look at it as how can you basically be successful at digital marketing? Because if you can teach them that and they can learn it on their own, it's going to be something that can just basically fund them for life. And they can also work with helping other people do it also. Like it could be a job for them. They can start a company that, you know, somebody has an influencer that wants to be able to blow their business up. We can show you how. So it's still the same thing. It's still teaching them life lessons.
So your kids are older, whereas our kids are younger, and we keep saying that, but I'm simply saying, like, first step for us, I think, if we're going to allow them to do it, would be like, my son doesn't have a phone, so give him an old iPhone, let him videotape him, let him video himself multiple times in different directions, different areas. Okay, whatever it is he wants to video, and then you give him access to not an Instagram like editing format, but some sort of format. Platform that he can edit in, and show them how to edit their own videos. So you got to teach them from the get. Do the videos. Now here's how you edit it, and then let me see it, and we'll try to attach music that won't get you taken down off of YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, and we'll try to attach some music, and then when you go in and we post it onto the YouTube, just say that he is under 18. So then there's no comments allowed.
Okay.
So if you do that, there's no comments allowed, and then he can post his own videos. Give him access to his own channel, and let him post. And then log him out, or you can post it for him. So he doesn't have access to it, but just show how he can upload. Then he can do his own videos, but you need to get the approval from you every time you upload a video.
And then
that would be something.
And for him, their kids are smart too. So they're going to say, well, how did it do? Because they want to see how it did.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, then the next week is like, all right, Dad, this did this view. Like, what can we do better? Or what can we do different? Do we give them an option of that?
Mm-hmm.
Because if so, then now we're studying YouTube, and now we're making this a business. And you can do it at any age because your kids are young, but your kids are very intelligent, and they can see it, they understand it, and they're not looking at, oh, okay, I made this much money with it, but they are going to look at, okay, if I'm going to do these videos, of course I want more views on it, and I want to be able to build my following, and I want to be able to, like, not necessarily monetize it, but I want to make this thing bigger, like some of these YouTube stars that I know, like the Mr. Beast that's doing astronomical numbers and different things like that. So it's still like what I was saying at the beginning is like teaching the kids this as, man, it's almost free money because we all have a good amount of followers, and then we have friends that have followers. So if we really wanted to help our kids blow up a channel, we can teach them that, and they can have this basically, I don't want to say, how can I say it? Like, they could be making money with it. They can pay for their college. They can pay for house later. They can basically support their family later with this business that we taught them when we were really young.
Well, this is, take this for what it is that I've seen, like, because I've done Rogan's show and I've talked to Joe about this, and he seems very open about the fact that, look, I do whatever I can to help all the other comedians that have been around me forever succeed. And you just brought up, like, oh, you know, like, we have platforms to help boost our kids. This is very true. But you've got to build that sense of community. And I find that with being an influencer, everyone is about themselves. But what can I do for my channel? This and that. It's the ones that work together in trying to build their platforms together or cross promoting each other's platforms that I see a lot of success with. Now, everyone keeps using Mr. Beast, and they use the Ryan kid that does all the not game reviews, but toy reviews.
Yes.
Yep. And so they use those kids as those people as models. But I'm thinking to myself, they also jumped on it at such an early stage that it's just, we're not going to be able to mimic that. It's going to take forever to mimic that. So that the best way to try to mimic that is by merging together with people that you know and cross-pollinating your guys' content a little bit. I'll give you an example. I use Thomas DeAnge. His son, he teaches his kids, and they have a YouTube channel basically with him teaching his kids kickboxing, you know, and they're very good. And then he also puts in a little bit of soccer because they play soccer. You know, and then what happened was I had invited him over. We had a snowball fight, one of those little fake snowball fights at my old gym at Knox, and we invited them over, and they had this, big snowball fight there, and we just cross-pollinated. We took some clips from our video and gave it to him. He put Kellen through a workout on his video, and we brought that over to our channel. So different ways to try to cross-pollinate each other's platforms to try to help them grow.
Yeah. Well, you said with Mr. Beast, what do you mean by early stage? He started at an early age.
No, he started early and pretty much in YouTube. That's like that. Like,
So it took him years to build it up.
yeah, it took him years to build it up.
And see, that's what I'm saying with us, because Mr. Beast is not very old right now.
No, he's not. I think
he's
he's
a young, early
30.
20s.
I think he's late 20s.
Late
Like
20s, late
28.
20s.
Somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, 27,
Yeah.
28 years
And
old, I
he's
think.
making
Yeah.
multi millions.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, my son's 15. Why not just start it now? And
Mhm.
and not I'm not saying pour your whole life into it,
No.
but start it now. Start doing videos, and then start learning it and learning it and learning it. Even if you don't make any real money until what, you're 18, 3 years into it, 20 even. If you're staying consistent with it and you're learning it, by the time he's 21 years old, 22 years old, he could have millions of people on it, because basically using the same technique, but using both of them, the cross-pollinating. Like I can help him out with some of my followers. So he gets a cheat sheet, because he has myself and a lot of people that I can help him help. Because like when he did his cooking channel, I talked to MVP and some of the guys that I wrestle with. I was like, hey man, give Miles a little shout out. They're like, oh yeah. So they would go over there and do little comments. So his friends see the comments of like these wrestlers and stuff. They're like, oh wow. So they go over there and it helps build him. So he's doing both at the same time. And by all means, like I said before, I'm not trying to have him stop playing football or stop running track or anything like that. But we know that all these sports, it's like, the guys that are super successful, the guys that make it and have their college paid for, make it to the pros and everything like that, it's a very small percentage. Do I think my son can make it? I do. Love him to death. So, of course, I want to see him. I think my daughter can make it into WNBA or the Olympics or anything like that. I think they have the ability to. But to give them as many options as possible as they're growing up, I think that I want to be able to do it. And I talked to them several times, and I was like, look, guys, I'm going to give you a cheat sheet. We're going back to the cheat sheet. If you guys want to do these YouTube, I don't want you guys just watching all these other people and you're like, I was like, just learn what they do and try and do your own. Like, let's think of an idea that works for you. And then let's start building a channel and let's start learning the channel. And of course, like you said, because I'm saying with you, I'm still old school in a sense. Like, I don't want them just to be like, oh man, I got 10 likes here, dang, and like really like
Can't have them
internalize
viewing
it.
the likes.
I don't want them doing so much like that, but I do want them to understand. And it goes back to that conversation and talk. Okay, this one didn't do as good. Why didn't it do as good? Maybe the lighting was bad. Maybe we didn't do here. Maybe we didn't post it at the right time. And then I want them to kind of learn that so they can build that stream of income as they go older. So I don't want to say a fallback, but just another avenue that they can just run with.
All right, quick bathroom break. Sorry, guys.
So I'm listening to all this and I'm thinking, I mean, we're not too far away from this kind of being incorporated into our schools, right? I mean, earlier you said there's esports in schools now. I got to imagine there's going to be something along the lines of, however you can, the best way to frame all this, right? To package all this, if it's, video editing and publishing or creative, whatever it is, I'm sure they'll come up with it. But I feel like it's only a matter of time, right? Before this is going to be offered in school. Like, hey, if you're creative, this class can help unlock and teach you how to monetize, right? That creativity as far as, with video.
Are you finding though that, like for me, I'm finding that as the kids get older, that they're not learning about how to make money. They're learning how to do math. They're learning how to read. They're learning how to, geography. They're learning all the things that we learned. Not much has changed in them learning how to balance a checkbook, on how to invest. None of that stuff is being taught to our kids in school. And I sometimes wonder, like, why?
Yeah.
Why not? Why are they not learning how to balance a checkbook? Why are they not learning to put money into the bank? Why are they not learning? These are things.
Yeah, that's why I was saying earlier, you're better off opening up a lemonade stand as a little kid, and you're going to learn so much more about the world, right? And than you are. And not to say that math and all those other things are not useful or valuable. I do think it's important for kids to get those are like the fundamentals, right? So to speak. But you're right. These things don't teach you how to make money.
Yeah.
Even college. I mean, I felt like college always, for the most part, unless you really, really specialize in something, but college was just there to teach you how to kind of be a grown-up,
Yes.
right? That's where you learn to balance
Yep.
a checkbook. You open up a bank account as an adult, and that's where you're starting to learn how to live on your own, right? To me, that was the ultimate value more in college than.
But that was our era. Now parents just give the kids credit cards, and they don't know what's in there.
Well,
Yeah.
I did a report when I was in college, and it really opened my eyes because I was a business major for going through college, and we had to go interview different companies, and we had to have a meeting with the CEO and talk to them about who do you look for. And he said, I look for somebody that has a college degree. And he said, but I don't care what their degree is. He said, the reason why I don't look at those guys is because college is difficult, So I like to see somebody be able to complete a task, complete a mission with all the obstacles that they have. Sports, partying, boyfriend, girlfriend, everything that comes involved with college, and they are able to make it through it. So I look at those people for that reason. I don't care what their degree is. I just want them to see that they can navigate through all these different obstacles to achieve and reach a goal. So school is, to me, is just that. It's something so different from it. So I go through and I have those conversations with my kids all the time. It's like, I want you guys to be able to be successful at school, because I told him, I said, history is more interesting to me now as an adult. When I'm traveling, I'm like, man, I'm going to go here. I'm going to see this. When I was in school, I could care less about Lake Geneva or anything like that. I was like, this war, I was like, man,
because
this
it's very
is
difficult
draining.
to, I feel like this is all in an effort to prepare you to be an adult.
Yes.
And to make money. Now, history, if you're going to go be a professor or teach history, that's where it's most valuable. But in our everyday lives, history doesn't really factor in. Our kids being this age, I understand you need to know how to read and write.
Absolutely.
And do basic math. Those are the fundamentals of life, right?
You can't balance a checkbook if you don't know how basic
but
math.
We start getting into calculus and high level geometry and stuff. It's like, come on, that doesn't factor into your everyday, unless you want to specialize in that and get in that field and teach and continue to that's valuable for certain fields, right? But yeah, I feel like, man, are they learning the basics? For us they are, but when we get to high school, that's when it's all right, now what are we learning? What are we studying to prepare you to be an adult? And with kids, high school kids and young adults making hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, I'll use Mr. Beast. I know very little. I know the name for sure. But if you're at that stage and you're making that much money and you started off doing that in high school, it's like, do you even need to go to college? Do you even, what are you going to spend most of your time on, right? Like if you have somebody that is taken off, now me personally, if I had that situation, I would still want my kids to go to college, but I can understand, because college is to prepare you for the real world, to go get a job and to hopefully be successful. But if you're already successful before that and you've developed and learned all these skills, right? Yeah. Isn't it? It's just something to think about, I would say.
At school, I think school teaches you how to learn.
Yeah.
I mean,
to be curious and
it teaches you how to learn. It teaches you the ability to learn. Because when we go through it, they throw different obstacles at you and you have to try to figure it out. So it's training the brain.
It's a problem solving.
Yeah. Like we talked about before. Math is if 2 + 2 = 4, and we know that, and that's as far as we go, then we need to keep on furthering it so we can get more intricate problems, more detailed problems to solve. So in life,
but I think the problems to solve evolve and change, right? As we get older, because at some point it's going to be, okay, how do you make money now to survive and take care of yourself?
That's going to be the number one problem, I think, coming up now with AI becoming more prevalent. And look, I've already seen all through Instagram and other social media platforms that they don't pay influencers anymore, because they create an AI influencer that's better looking, that talks well, speaks well, and they're stealing other people's likeness to it. Yeah. And that person now is just owned by me. So I create my own AI influencer who is sexy as hell, who can go on OnlyFans and make money and do all these things. And guess what? It's just an AI. But I own that AI because I've made that AI. So now that AI person is now making me hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars every year, and I don't have to pay anybody. So I spent the time to learn how to create an AI influencer. So that's where I think we separate ourselves from is, will they be able to show the likeness? Now they can show a person that talking into the, but can they show someone actually with soccer skill? Can they show someone with, sports and agility movements? Can they show someone teaching a technique? Are they able to do that just yet? There will come a time that they will be able to, but I mean, until then, you need to soak it up as much as you can and create as much content as you possibly can.
Yeah.
But when we started this whole thing is rich dad, poor dad, right?
Yes.
So that being said, we've talked about ways to be an influencer. We talked about ways to make money, but what level do we turn to our kids and say, hey, isn't it still important to go outside? Hey, go dig that ditch. So you know what it's like to have to do hard work. Isn't it important? Or are you saying that, no, we just shy away from that because that has nothing to do with real life? But reality is that we still need plumbers. AI is not going to fix your plumbing problem. Like you still need electricians.
Are you
still need framers?
Are you putting all your investment or your money investing into teaching your son how to work harder?
I think work harder.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying I'm teaching them to, like, I guess for me, I look at it as I grew up having to work in the apricot fields, cherry fields, and realized I never want to go back.
Okay.
So that is an influence, like that influenced me to say, like my dad was an avid smoker. I hate people that smoke. So I don't hate them. I just don't want to be around people that smoke. I don't go to restaurants where people can smoke out. None of that stuff. I just don't want to be around it at all. Cigar smoke, even weed smoke. I'm like, man, even though it sometimes smells good, I don't just, I'm like, but I'm that person. I don't want to be around smoke. There's things in our past that have taught us that we don't want to be that. We don't want to go back to that.
Okay. So do we take our kids and tell them, hey, I'm going to leave you on your own so you can be poor, so you don't want to ever be poor again? Or do we just say, I know what it's like and I want to keep you away from that and I want you to move on past that? That goes back to like that rich dad, poor dad. It's like the poor dad is going to teach his son that. And man, I'm like, don't get me wrong, I am on your side 100% because I try so hard and I'm like, do this to my son, and I'm pushing him. But even in my business alone, Logan Paul, he came through and he really learned the game and he really ran with it. But he got put right up to the top, and he gets like the top spot, everything because of his social media. And there's so many guys that we have in there that have just been busting their ass and scraping and clawing and everything like that. And because he had this, he just jumps the line and he gets all the way up there at the top. And it happens so often across the board. And we see it all the time that certain people just go right up there. I mean, I go back to my business a little bit. Look, CM Punk probably got paid more than most of the guys that you've trained with that were in the trenches doing the Aerodyne workouts on a regular basis. When he came in there and fought, he went
Mighty Mouse
straight
just said something
to the UFC and right to the top to getting paid a lot of money because of what he brought outside of it. So it goes back to those things. And for me, I was like, no, Miles, I don't want you to do that. When I came out of the WWE, there was talks with all kinds of different organizations and you guys and everything. And when I left Strikeforce at the time, I did a whole bunch of small fight promotions. I did a whole bunch of indie wrestling because when I went from the Olympic Training Center, I went straight into WWE. And a lot of those guys in there, they were like, man, he didn't do this. He didn't do indies. Like I was wrestling around the world for $50 and there was all those stories. So when I left the WWE, I went and did all those again. And then when I left Strikeforce, I did a whole bunch of like little small fights. And I was going out there and I was teaching and I opened up a gym and I did all these different things so that I could be able to learn. So I did the grunt work. But Brock built the gym right next to his house and he had guys flown in. He got paid a lot of money for doing it. And he got the big spot and everything like that. So I understand, like, I like that grassroots where you have to like really work hard for stuff. But at the same time, it's hard when our kids have to see people that essentially work harder in a different way.
But wasn't Brock over in Japan at Soul Wrestling? Wasn't he wrestling over there for a while?
Wrestling what?
In pro wrestling, it was called Soul, I think is what it was called. I thought he was in pro wrestling over there before he came over to the WWE. Am I not right about this?
I'm not sure.
No.
But
He got contracted right to WWE from college,
I'm,
and he did OVW.
Because I saw him in Japan when I was out there for one of my fights, and he was out there for pro wrestling. Because I saw him at the airport.
He did
We were
one pro
chatting
wrestling
over.
match in between when he left WWE. He did
Got
one or
it.
two in there.
No,
and came
Got it.
what I'm kind of gathering here is you build your own brand, you do your own thing, right? All the benefits, because the guys that you're describing, you know, I when you do have a fan base and a following, it's very powerful, right? But
Right.
I think the message to kids, perhaps when the time is right, is, you know, you can go on and go work for somebody, right?
Yeah.
Or you can build your own thing. All these guys, these success stories are all really cool. The thing I take away from it is you're kind of self-made, right?
Yeah.
You're doing your own thing, as opposed to the traditional idea of you go to school, you go to high school, you go to college, and you go work for somebody, right?
I mean, I haven't had a real job since I was 20 years old.
But that's kind of
Yeah.
the traditional path, right? That's kind of maybe let's call it the safe way, right? That's kind of, and then you do real well and you go work, go get a job. But what we're talking about is this modern era of, I guess back in the day, it was like, remember the child actors, right? If you were
Yeah.
talented, you go on the Mickey Mouse Club or something, and you can, but now it's like, you can just do it at home. You can build your own, you know, business, your own brand. You can learn from it, and you can
I'm
make
not
some
sure the Mickey
real
Mouse
money.
Club is something I want to reference for these kids.
We're gonna stay away from that one.
I'm gonna
But growing up,
I see
it's
what
like,
you're talking about.
but see,
Jump in line, cut in
right,
line.
right, like because those were the guys. Like when we grew up, it was the era. You know, Corey Feldman, Corey Haim. It was like you were a child actor, but now it's like you're an influencer, you're a
Yeah.
YouTube star, you're a video game star. You know, you're esports champion or whatever. And it's a new era. So what I'm gathering here is this is a new opportunity. This is a new lane, and for a lot of people, it's easy to get in, right? I mean, it's hard to make that comparison to being a child actor. That's hard to get in. Remember, I remember seeing auditions and like hundreds of kids are there. You can just start your own channel. You can create your own account like today, right? And there's no barrier to getting into it. So I think that's really cool. And I just think it's fascinating that now you can come in, build your own brand, do your own thing. Like these guys, they're not following the traditional path
of hard work to make it up there.
Correct.
And
Right.
and do we do that and see, this is where this is a big thing for us. And I think this has a lot to do with this channel as the Dad Dojos. We're all successful, right? So do we force that on our kids to have to do it the way that we did it? And that's where I struggle all the time, because I'm like, I want you to struggle, but at the same time, I don't want you to struggle.
Is it doing it like we did it though? Because I don't think I don't think we're trying to mimic that. For me, I want him to go like, look, we had a tree that died in my backyard.
Yeah.
The HOA says I have to replant it. Do I need to go dig that hole when my son, who's more than capable, can dig that hole? And just for a split second, will know what it's like to have blisters on his hands? I don't think that's a problem. Look, he's also helping take care of the house that he lives in.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying?
That's
Like,
important.
these are just, I'm not talking about go out there and let's dig a trench from the sidewalk to the back because I want to. No, we're not doing that.
No.
But I mean, like, these are things that you have to learn to maintain your own house, your own property. Like you're, you know.
I agree with you, because I do that with my son also. But I think I'm looking at way more than like little tasks like that. I think it's very important. But
clean the grill. Like, I'm sorry, take off the top part, scrub it all out. You know, we barbecue every night almost.
Yeah.
Like, it's like clean the grill.
yes,
These are things that, at least everyday maintenance to a house and property, you have to understand. And also, I mean, and look, and if you want to give them a little extra, be like, hey, this is now, I'm going to go ahead and you clean the grill. I'll give you $4.
right.
Okay. You dig that hole over there. I give you $5 or whatever it is. Right.
Yeah.
Responsibility.
Okay. I'll go with wrestling a little bit also, just because that's where I'm in. Dominic Mysterio, love the kid to death. You know where his first match was? Against Seth Rollins at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
The second biggest pay-per-view and arguably one of the greatest wrestlers he's in the ring with, in front of like millions, because his dad was Rey Mysterio. It's a cool thing, and it's a cool thing that we have an ability to give our kids. Ray could have said, no, I don't want you doing it. I want you to go and I want you to do indie promotions and I want you to go wrestle around the world for 10 years and make no money.
Good.
And
right. He's still here.
Yes.
And,
but well, if you're in the ring with these people, and that's where you learn from. It's like if you went acting and you had to act alongside of Denzel Washington and then Will Smith and then Leonardo DiCaprio and all that, you're going to be good because it's just going to rub off on you because you have the ability to do that. So that's what we have the ability to do, is give our kids something that the normal person doesn't have, so that we give them that cheat sheet. Of course, deep down, we want our kids to understand the value of having to scrape and claw to make it to a certain level, but
this is when I was your age, son, I walked 2 miles to school. It's like, well, that sucks. I get on the bus now, or, my dad drops me now. I mean, why struggle and go through those things if you don't have to?
Yes.
Because
is the point, right?
Because if you're at the top and one day, almost all of us end up failing at some point.
Yeah.
You end up dropping to the bottom. You need to know what it's like to, I hate to use this term, is lift yourself up by the bootstraps.
Sure. Yeah.
You need to know what it takes. Like when you're done, like, and I guess a lot of for example, for me is, look, when I got done fighting, I was able to move into commentary for Bellator. But if I wasn't, then what do? You understand what I'm saying? Like I just spent, like, with athletes, professional athletes, you see it all the time. But they don't know where to go and what to do afterwards.
The examples that you've brought up, Bobby, those, none of those, I understand the criticism, but none of those guys should apologize.
No, absolutely. Because at first, a lot of guys were really resentful of Logan, but he did put in the work and he's good. So, but at the same time, it's like we almost want to hate the person that's on the top because they didn't have to go through it the way that we did.
Sure.
But now we have that ability to kind of give that to our kids,
fast track
them, to cheat code to get up there. And then, so I even had to get to that point where I was like, don't hate him, just understand him. Now, when I understand him, I'm going back at my son. That's why I went back to Miles. I was like, bro, listen, hey, we need to get this YouTube channel going. I said, because, and I told WWE also, I was like, WWE, why don't you guys just start sending people our way instead of having to bring somebody that has influence? Why don't you just build our own platforms for us so you have our internal stars? But Logan Paul, like, he really built himself to be a superstar across the board. The Prime company and everything like that, because he learned that business and he put himself into that position. So I'm learning from him instead of hating on him. I'm learning from him and saying, hey, Miles, hey, listen, there's more than one route to the end zone.
Sure.
And I think Josh, you need to put this into the.
I think what I'm picking up from you is, yes, you get fast tracked, find your way there. However, be unapologetic, perhaps. But when you encounter adversity, not having the background of struggle, that's when you're tested. And will you be ready for that test when it comes?
There's not only that, but I think, to go back on what you're saying though too, is, and I agree, like that's exactly what I'm saying. But it's to talk about, I go back to the Rogan situation. He's helped build a community for the younger comedians to kind of step up. He ended up buying his own comedian place. It's called The Mothership down in Austin. He actually has all these young comedians that are coming up, and now all he does is talk highly about them, get them on his podcast, talk about how he can help them grow. Those are people you want to be surrounding yourself with. The positivity, like getting the kids around each other, making sure that they know they got the support. Flipping through. If Miles is posting his content and my son's posting his, Ollie's posting his, and they cross-pollinate, like, hey, just share the video one time, and leave it up to the community we built. And that's what happens. Other people will start to see it and be like, man, those guys are cool. Look at them build their community. People moved from LA, I mean, for a bunch of reasons, but they moved from LA to Austin with Joe to basically start building their comedy mothership there. And that's what they've done now. And I just take that and I go, man, how can you build this for your kids? My biggest conversation with my son, especially in the last probably 3-4 months, is stop being the kid at school. Because I see it, we pick them up from school and I see all the kids, they're always in competition, which I'm cool with. I like the little run in here. Yeah. But let's keep it positive in competition though too. Yeah. Like I said, when your friend you guys are in a group of 5 and one of the kids like, oh, so-and-so can't catch. Oh no, man, it's your job to step in and be like, what are you talking about? Man, he's got some of the best hands in the game.
Yeah.
Like he's got some of the, like he's so big, like he's fast for his size. Say something positive about that kid
I like it.
in front of your group of friends. And also I tell them this is start seeing which kids are not being positive about you to other people. I said, because then maybe that's when you start separating yourself. And at 9 years old, that's hard because they want to be around everyone. They want everyone to be their friend. But I really have started to feel like when you moved here before me and you moved here and you're like, hey, are you here yet? And I was like, man, I already feel like we're building something and I want to be part of this. And that made me feel a lot better. Like just being here and in Frisco, in Prosper, in this North Dallas, Texas area, and starting to build a little sense of community. There's already several people in the community that I'm starting to build with, and their kids now are friends with my son, and it's growing. But that's kind of what we did in the Bay Area. I want to start building that more here. And it's important to be positive around.
I totally understand what you're saying, and I agree. It's just trickier with kids for several reasons, at least at our age, because every time, we're on a new team, we're in a new class. It's harder, but I think what you're saying is absolutely right. It's about community and growing and building with that. Perhaps when you get older, into high school, I think that's where we always talk about that. We go back to that. Our kids are different ages, so it's a whole different dynamic. But I think when they get older, it's going to be a little more. These are my friends, right? Who's who I hang with? Because at our age, it's just whoever you see in front of you is your friend, right? Oh, we went to a new wrestling practice yesterday. Oh yeah, bunch of new friends. Yeah, I got 20 new friends, right? Yeah, and then we'll go, but in a few weeks when school's out, not that he'll never see those kids again, but it's going to be a whole new group. Yep. So it's all new friends, but then that kind of stops when you get to high school, right? It's a little more selective. Like he's not in my class no more, but that's my guy, right? Yeah. So we're going to be buddies. So it's almost easier to kind of create that.
Well, high school, you can text each other, or you guys, you guys can drive. I can meet you now wherever you're at.
Because now it's like, oh, Dad, can you hit up so and so's dad? So it's like, I don't know, man, kind of busy, or I don't know if it's it's not lining up, right? To try and set up a play date, right? But you get older, and it's like, yeah, man, you guys figure it out. I'll drop you there, or whatever. You guys go meet up here. So. Just to address that community. But then, imagine you get going and you start creating and building something with your friends. It's a great thing. You've been talking about Logan. He had his brother, right? Yeah. They started together. Sure. Right. It's great to have somebody, a team backing you and learning from each other.
It's just sharing the content. It's like, if Miles does something, then my son will share it. And then, if Ollie does something, my son will share it, and hopefully vice versa. And then, and depending on, like, if we all go out as a group, with the kids and have dinner together, and kids playing together, kids interacting together. Now, I know there's an age difference that may make it a little bit more, but it's like, I've been around your kids, man. Your kids are really good kids.
Yeah, but they learn it. They learn it from us. They learn it from us because we talk about it all the time. When I talked to him about doing the podcast, I was like, "Yeah, Josh, he fought in the UFC. We watched your fights. We sat down and watched your fights." So I get the example. Rich, same way. There was a fight coming out. My son hit me up. He's like, "Oh, Rich is on TV because you were doing the weigh in and you're standing in the middle." And they were so excited about that because that's how I am. Also, I like to really hype up the people that I'm around, not to a point of zinking.
No, don't hype this guy up.
Nah,
I know he's
that's not necessary, bro. That's really
see what I'm talking about. See what I got to do.
Would not do that, man.
He's already got it. But my kids do it also. Like my son, there's one kid in his 15-year-old kid. This kid's squatting 600 pounds in high school. So what? Miles was just showing me. He was like, "Look what Austin did. He's just crazy weight." So. I like the community, but going back to like the monetizing and the business and putting it in, I think we're on the same page with it to a certain extent. If we, as our parents, maybe we just have that safety net and give our kids the opportunity to do whatever they can, and then like I'll let you work and you get it. If I'll get a safety net. Some of us didn't have a safety net. If things didn't work out for me, bro, I was falling to the ground, and it would have been hard to dig my way out. But
usually that safety net is education, right? That's kind of what is
could be
but that's the traditional way of thinking is
right.
As long as you get your degree, you can go for it, whether it's sports or whatnot. And if you don't make it, you have that to fall back on, right? That's traditionally been the safety net is, hey, just go to school, get your degree. You can always go get a job in case chasing the dream doesn't work out.
But how far does your degree get you after you've been removed from working in the job industry for like 15, 20 years? Yeah. I mean, it's been, how long has it been since you've worked a real job, but like a 9 to 5, a 9 to 5. I mean, it's been a long time. Same thing for me. So how do you re-enter, as a former athlete or, pro wrestler, how do you re-enter the job market, even if you have a degree?
Well, see,
things have changed so much since graduated college.
I think that was one thing that when I was coming here, we were talking about the financial literacy and everything like that. I think being the dad dojo, we don't always have to be talking about our kids.
No,
because
that's true.
Some of us also is coming out of it and helping some of these guys understand that when we were in these jobs where it's like, get this big paycheck, and then 6 months later, get this, like we get like, so we don't like the 9 to 5 is like something that's foreign to us. And what I've been doing with a lot of the kids from WWE is because I went into it first, I was 4 years into WWE, made a bunch of money, and then I left. And then I started fighting for a while, and then I got back into it. So when I got back into it, I was like, let's make the smart decision. So I built up a real estate kind of a little bit of an empire on my own right now from like investing into a whole bunch of different things. I got a bunch of houses that I have and everything like that. So I think that part is where I try to give to my son also. I'm trying to teach him a little bit of everything. So I'm teaching him how to, like I talked to you guys about that green light. He has an opportunity to go in there and he can put the money that he makes in there and he can invest it into different stocks. It's under my name. That's the way that they're able to do it. But when he invests in these stocks, he talks to me. He's like, Dad, I got so-and-so and so-and-so. And like, oh, it went up and it went down. My son invested in the stocks. He's up like 30-something%. Like he doesn't know, but we talk about it. He's like, why is this here? And then he goes back and he reads about it. So it's all a learning process, but I'm teaching him how to take his money and put it into something and then to watch it grow and how it grows. So it's all the way across the board. So it's teaching our kids a whole bunch of different levels of education of how to make money and how to keep money. But ultimately they're watching us and we have to be able to do it on our own to be able to show them how to do it. And what we're doing now is running a podcast because it is something that can give us another stream of income after we get out of sports or after we get out of different businesses and different things like that.
What are your kids doing with the money that they make?
I have them invest almost
so it's all being invested. They're not, are they saying, Dad, I want to go buy this? And so, because right now, like for example, Ollie is in this mode of, it's like not thinking about investing and saving. It's about, I need to buy this thing now. So how do I make more money? Like he'll ask me, how do I make money so I can go buy the Xbox controller? So he ain't thinking about saving, but
go dig that tree.
But yeah, so that's on me to find, right. Like we're finding ways for him to make money around the house.
There's a pitchfork and a shovel in the garage, my man.
You can make up just random things. I used to make up random things. I was like, go over there and do that, and I'll pay for it.
I kind of like these kind of short-term goals, though, right? To go buy the Xbox controller, because yes, you should save, but I almost feel like you're going to learn a lot from going out and buying this Xbox controller, and maybe you stop playing Xbox and 4 months or, because we all have gone through that, right? That's life as an adult, especially a young adult. I really need this car. I need something that you really don't need in your life. You should be saving the money.
Yeah.
Shit, I need gas money.
Too responsible,
I need gas money.
Yeah. But right. So like whatever it may be directly in front of you, sometimes saving isn't, of course it's a smart thing to do, but it's just not quite there yet, right?
Well,
but I like the short-term goals.
If they just save it, then they really don't. It's just there, right?
Right.
But when I do it with that, I don't want to plug Greenlight so much, but it is a cool little concept and it's a cool way. But when they put it in there, it goes into investment, and then they can actually see how it grows. So my kids aren't looking at the money that they have. They're like, man, look, I'm up 20%, 30%. So now it starts to become like a different mind frame, because they're looking at it saying, oh man, look at mine. And then they're comparing it to each other. And when they compare it to each other, then Naomi's like, well, I want mine, Dad. I need to make some money. So she's not making money for stuff that doesn't matter. She's making money to put it in there because she wants to have more than her brother does. So it's kind of a cool way. See it right here. So he has like the investment part right here, and then he's up 15% on his investments. So he can put it in here. So he's just looking at trying to make more money with that.
But is he pulling anything out? Like, will he say, Dad, I want to go buy this?
His money is broken up into different categories. So he has one part that's just his money that he can spend. And then say if I give him $100, I can have his setup where if I give him $100, 33% goes into savings that just sits in the savings. 30% goes into investing and it sits there, and then 30% goes over here, or however I want to break that up. I can break it up however I want it. And then when it goes over into investing, it'll just sit there. So if it sits there and he does nothing with it, he's not making any money with it. So then he goes into that account, because on his end, he can go in there and he can say, okay, well, I have $30 to put in investing. What should I invest it in? And I'm like, well, what do you think is, and that's when I started talking to him. I'm like, what do you think is getting big right now? Well, like, oh, AI. Well, let's go research some AI companies that you can go invest in. And then he puts it in there and he figures it out that way. So I think it's a cool concept. The savings part is just savings. And there's a charitable part also. So if there's like a list of different charities that and you set it up however you want to. So their allowance, my kids' allowance were based on their age. Whatever age they are, they get that dollar amount for their age. 15, it doesn't seem like a lot, but at the beginning, they don't need a lot. Okay, $15 goes into it. Okay, but there's other ways that they can make money, and then a percentage goes here, a percentage goes there, a percentage goes there, and when it sits there, then they can go and then they can learn about that investment. Then they can go over here, and they literally go into different charities. They're like, well, I don't know, Boys and Girls Club or something like that. And we start talking about it, so they put it in there. So it's just a way that they can learn it and learn how to save money, as opposed to like when I was younger, just putting it under my mattress until I wanted to buy something and then I spend it. So it's a cooler way to do it. And the investment part, I tell them, I'm like, they're like, well, I want this right now. I'm like, and I talked to Naomi. I said, Naomi, you're 12 years old. You're not even going to touch this money until you're 18. I said, man, if I would have invested into Microsoft or any one of these companies back when I was like your age, man, by now I'd be rich. So I want you to think about it like that. Like right now, you're so young. Think of 8 years later, because I'm not going to let you touch this money. It's not, I'm not. It's an investment, and I don't want you to pull it out. So, and your savings is going to be in your savings. I'll let you move your savings to investment or your savings to charity, but it's not going to move from savings to what I spend. What you spend is going to be what you spend. So
is Kellen like that's amazing. And he's at that age where he's mature enough to start to grasp it. Is Kellen constantly, or kids constantly, Dad, I want this, I want that?
No. Kellen and my daughter don't ask for anything. Like it's so like the only thing he really would like, he would like a video game console. But then I ask him like, why? You have an iPad? He's because the games he plays is Roblox, and he plays the one you were talking, Minecraft. Those are the two that he plays, and he plays with his cousins. He's got cousins in the Philippines, he's got cousins in California, he's got cousins on the East Coast. So he plays with them at certain times of the day, based on where they're at.
Yeah. And
so he's allowed, and I allow him to play a little bit more than I should, probably only based on like his one cousin in the Philippines can't play until like late at night, whereas other two can play, a little bit earlier throughout the day or later in the day. So I let them, because that's pretty much the only interaction he has with them until we go back and see them. So I allow, that's his connection. The three of them all jump on. There's like a time at like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night that they are all awake. They all try to jump on. So I allow him to play till about 10 o'clock at night, but only on the weekend. You know what I mean? So he can stay awake.
But he's not like, or they're not.
No, not asking for any money.
Do you think you'll, like, from right now, I know it'll change later. Do you think that you'll never like get them like a PS5 and different things like
No,
that?
like I was saying earlier, was that I'm actually leaning towards possibly getting them some sort of console for like FIFA, for hockey, for lacrosse, just so they can better understand, if I kick the ball here. It's hard for a kid, I think, to visualize how big the field is, because they all just tend to like try to get near the ball.
Yeah.
So it looks like a pack of dogs chasing after, one toy. And he's past that level where they're spreading the ball out around the field, but you still need to understand, like, you still can't cheat yourself to the middle of the field. You got to still be way over there on the far side. And this is why. And it's easier to show them in the FIFA game. And I've talked, like you said, there was someone that talked to you about it.
Sure.
Saying like, these are the benefits. Well, to me, the benefits would be like for him to better understand the game. And also, it is an addicting game, but it's not as addicting as, say, Halo and Modern Warfare and what other games, the shoot 'em up games.
So you don't think that you'll just buy a game console for them just to have fun?
No. If you want to have fun, I mean, like, look, I don't know how you grew up. I grew up going outside. If you want to have fun, I moved to Texas so we could go outside, and I feel safe about my kid playing outside.
Sure.
Okay. I'm not going to get into any of the stuff, but with California, I just didn't feel safe because people raced up and down my road, and I lived in a residential, and it's like they were speeding around the corners. I mean, I literally was playing catch with my son in not in the driveway, but in the street, and an old guy in a Mercedes, he came around the corner, probably 100 yards down the road, and started laying on the horn to tell us to get out of the way. And as he was laying on the horn telling us to get out of the way, he was speeding up. I could hear his car going like faster, and I'm like, and then he pulled up. I mean, he was honking and yelling, and I was telling him to slow down. He rolled his window down and told me off.
Well,
and so,
did you get him?
I mean, like, I just told him, hey, man, you got to slow down on the street. You know what I mean? Like, but I mean, what am I going to do? Beat up a guy who's like in his 60s?
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
Hold up.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll talk about that afterwards.
Things change. Things
We'll
change.
save
He gets
that
out
for
of the
the
car.
next, that's a great topic to get into.
No,
next
it's just
time.
one of those,
Rage.
I just didn't feel safe with my kids being outside. I mean, look, put it this way. He knows I had a big Dodge diesel truck, and I had parked it out on the street. Someone wasn't paying attention, ran my truck right into it pushed it 15 feet into my front lawn.
Damn.
So I just didn't trust my kids being out front.
Yeah.
And then being in the backyard was great. We had a great setup. Kids had the pool, had, everything you want in the back. But it was a very small backyard compared to the one I have now.
Yeah.
And so it's a different lifestyle. So like when you say, oh, you're going to have it for fun, you can have fun outside riding that nice expensive bike I got you. Okay.
Yeah,
or,
look, you're just investing in something else.
Yeah.
Right. Like you said, it's not the game, but it's the bike. But
yeah,
I'm dealing with the daddy. I want to play games. I'm into it. And so we're going through, all right, how do you earn it? And how do we control it? So,
that's a hard one.
That's
a hard one. That's a hard one because we're being dads and we're trying to do things very structured and but man, I have a PS5. Sometimes me and my son, like last weekend, we were playing the WWE game. I'm on the game, so we're sitting there playing.
Which one? The 2K? Is that the newest one? Yeah.
So we were playing it. It's just fun. There's certain times where I believe you got to have balance with everything. It can't all just be work, and I don't want my and there's nothing against not doing it. I think I kind of wish in certain cases that I never let them get there. Because this morning, I'm going this completely on your side. This morning, I went and did cardio really early before my kids got up. And when I came home, Miles jumps up off the couch and he goes and puts his phone on. I was like, bro, the first thing you do when you woke up in the morning was grab your phone. You haven't eaten breakfast. I was hot. I was upset. And then Naomi she comes downstairs and she's walking right over by her phone. And I just, no. I said, no, you guys go get breakfast, go do this, go clean your room, go make your bed. There's so many things that you need to do before picking up this damn phone.
We should save this and go into it. Like the routine.
The routine, I think, is huge.
This is a whole
driving me crazy
episode.
Right now.
This is the routine. Maybe we save this for next time because I think we can really get into routine.
It is a big deal. Yeah. It is a big deal. So what do we end on? We ended on what? we're helping our kids shape their life, but I think in terms of hard work is important. Like whether it's digging a ditch, doing stuff around the house. I know this is just maintenance and daily chores realistically, but it's like also teaching them what it's like to be outside when it's hot, sweating, having to do the work, whether it's planting, new trees in the yard, or whether it's digging up old ones and whatever it is, making them understand what hard work is, because they may not want to go back to that. And that's building a foundation for them.
Yeah.
I also think that in terms of the YouTube, I think it's very important to at least start with steps 1 and 2. Steps 1 and 2 is let's build the content. Let's video the content. And then steps 2, showing them how to edit the content. And then if we get into 3 of them posting it onto their own YouTube channel, and then they can start following it and understanding what they're doing and seeing what's going on with that. Those are some good steps in the right direction, I think. And then we'll see how dedicated they are in producing more content over and over again.
Yeah, this isn't the era we grew up in. There's really fun, creative ways for kids to start making money, and a lot of money, if you're good enough and if you can make it there, whether it's gaming, creating content. And I think we're redefining what it means to work hard, right? You can work hard. You're not going to be successful at those things if you don't work hard. So I think it's looking at it a little differently. It's just, with a different lens, not the old school. And I'm struggling with it myself because, we grew up so differently. It was hard work, the grind, but now the grind is a different kind of grind potentially. And they're just capable of doing so much more. I mean, the idea of being this creative and making this much money as a kid, it just didn't exist when we were young. And I'm trying to wrap my head around it, just like you guys.
Yeah, I think it's really big for balance, just balance. And I'm learning with my kids. As my kids get older, I got to start saying, okay, I got to understand this, because like we all say when our parents. When we were young, he doesn't understand. He doesn't get it. And I don't want to turn into that parent. I don't want to turn into that parent that's so disconnected with society and the way that things are. And I want to be able to give my kids the opportunity to just take advantage of how society has changed, and to be able to make money and to be able to have and build something younger. So I have to be open to social media. I have to be open to gaming. And hard work is something that got me where I am today. And my kids know that. So my kids are not shy of hard work at all whatsoever. And I got to be able to keep that balance. So I have to make sure that I do push them with that hard work. I want to give them the safety net under whatever they do, that dad's got you and we're going to get to that end zone no matter what route we go. So I think balance, but at the same time, hard work, but change with the times. Like understand times are changing, and there's more than one way to be successful and to make a lot of money so that you can be able to be comfortable in life. So I want to give them every opportunity to be able to be successful all the way across the board.
Well, there you have it with another episode of the Dad Dojo podcast. Leave your comments down below. Let us know what you guys are thinking, topics you guys would like us to talk about. Let us know what you thought about today's topic. Let your kids have a console, gaming, start pushing them in that direction if they're really good at it, or set them up on a YouTube channel. If they're good at that, see what their content is. What kind of content would you be okay with? Leave your comments down below. Let us know what your thoughts are. And hey, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode of the Dad Dojo podcast.